So what's the big problem with wealth creation? How do people like us, who didn't inherit a boatload of money, who are investing and building wealth from our own blood, sweat and tears, how do we invest in a way that gives us remarkable results and become financially free before retirement age? I don't know about you, but I am sick of hearing from wealth gurus and experts who don't walk their own talk and prescribe strategies that are a one-size-fits-all approach. For self-made people like you and me, I'm here to tell you that you don't need to be superhuman or already wealthy to reach financial freedom earlier than 65. This is the Alternative Investing Podcast. I've had a ton of people over the last 20 plus years make comments to me along the lines of, how can you afford to spend money on that? Or why are you spending money on that? And these are from people whom I love, who are very dear to me, but unfortunately have not understood or seen the world the way that I see it. And I want to unpack this a little bit because I'm sure many of you guys have the experience of people looking over your shoulder and watching the way that you spend money and thinking that they know better. In my own case, one of the things that I would say from a very early age that has really been the number one thing that has set us up for success is a great capacity to steward our money. So my husband and I have always had pretty ordinary incomes for most of our lives, and why we were able to build wealth really successfully. Obviously, on one side of the equation, we've become really great investors, but on the other side, we've been phenomenal stewards of our wealth. And what that has meant is that when we earn $1, we've been really good at carving off money for day-to-day spending, carving off money for bills, and then created what I describe as forced savings. Now, my system for money management, which we've used for more than 20 years, has been something that I've shared with so many people, high net worth individual, teenagers and alike. And I can tell you now, even people who are what I would describe as high net worth investors still struggle with these pieces and often end up adopting my system. And I'll definitely cover this in future episodes because I think this is a really valuable one for a lot of you. But what I would say to you is that because I've been really good at allocating my capital, allocating my income, when it has come to spending on something like an international holiday or the purchase of another property or the decision to turn over our cars, whatever, we've always been able to do it relatively freely without any guilt whatsoever because of the fact that we've allocated our capital. And I think if you can kind of get your head around this as a lesson, the better you are at allocating your income, at allocating your capital, at monitoring the performance of your investments, the easier it is to make big ticket decisions around spending on things like holidays. What most people do is they earn this great income, they kind of spend it, hopefully there's something left over. And then when it comes to going on holidays or, spending on some big ticket item, they scramble around and dip into savings or allocated amounts of cash that were actually intended for something else, rather than being in the position where the money's banking up, it's just there, it's for some purpose, whether it's personal or investing, and then just making use of it. And so the reason I'm bringing this up is I think I'm having a lot of conversations right now with people who are to some degree struggling to work out, how do I invest and enjoy my life at the same time? And the journey really that everyone needs to go on is working out where on that spectrum they need to sit, because ultimately you're either investing in your lifestyle today or your future self. But what if you could do both, but just have it be a lag? So the investments that you make in lifestyle are a slight lag from a timeline perspective, in contrast to setting aside capital for your future self. So again, you can have it all. You just have to choose your highest value and your highest priority. I guess where I'm going with this is that people have been confounded and just flabbergasted at some of the decisions that we've made in our household about going on holidays, giving the kids various experiences, having really stellar experiences, because that is what we value. We're not into the flashy cars and the fancy holidays and the fancy, accessories of life. We're into the experiences. And so for us to always, even from when our children were born, make the capital available to do that was a simple question of economics and allocation. And if you can start to wrap your head around that, then you too can put yourself in a position where you can spend that money, that allocated capital, completely guilt-free. Anyway, guys, look forward to catching you on the next episode. You've been listening to the Alternative Investing Podcast. If you're feeling frustrated that despite doing everything right in the property investing playbook and you're no closer to financial freedom, then head on over to incosiwealth.com to learn more about how you can use alternative investments to catapult your investing income and blend strategies to shave decades off your timeline to financial freedom. See you on the next episode.